But what happens when this harmony is tested by our greatest fear? That is where Orpheus's music descends into the underworld. The underworld is everything that has been forgotten or repressed, our pain, losses, and shadows. Orpheus does not carry a sword on this journey. He carries his lyre. The message is clear. The deepest challenges of existence cannot be solved through force, but through awareness, sensitivity, and understanding. Orpheus, the secret of the lyre that enchanted gods and men. What if I told you that Orpheus's true power was never his voice? What if I told you that his famous descent into the underworld was not the most important part of his story? For centuries, most people believed that Orpheus was simply an extraordinary musician who tried to rescue his beloved Eurydice from the realm of the dead. But the ancient Greeks saw something much deeper hidden beneath this myth. Orpheus's lyre was not merely a musical instrument. It was a key to mastering the mind itself. And today, you are about to discover how that same lyre is hidden within you right now. Because Orpheus carried no sword, he commanded no armies, he ruled no cities, and yet his presence could calm wild beasts, move trees, alter the course of rivers, and even compel the gods themselves to listen in absolute silence. But how was this possible? What was so powerful about that lyre? Was it merely music? Or were the ancients trying to communicate something far greater about the human mind, the soul, and reality itself? Today, we will explore the hidden symbolism of Orpheus's lyre through mythology, philosophy, psychology, and esoteric traditions. And when we finally understand the true meaning of this legendary instrument, we will discover that Orpheus's lyre was never truly in his hands. Perhaps it exists within each of us. Who was Orpheus? In Greek mythology, Orpheus was considered the greatest musician who ever lived. The son of the muse Calliope and often associated with Apollo, he represented the precise moment when divine inspiration meets human thought. But there is one detail that makes him unique among all heroes. While figures such as Hercules and Achilles became famous for their raw physical strength, Orpheus stood out for something entirely different. His instrument was harmony. While traditional heroes overcame obstacles through force, Orpheus transformed reality through balance. And this distinction leads us directly to the central mystery of his lyre. What did the lyre represent to the Greeks? Today, we see musical instruments as entertainment. For the ancient Greeks, however, music was a force capable of shaping human character. Musical education was not about learning notes. It was about learning how to shape the soul itself. If music possessed such power, then Orpheus's lyre was far more than wood and strings. It was the symbol of humanity's ability to align itself with the invisible order of the universe. Harmony as the hidden force of the universe. Imagine that the universe possesses an invisible structure beneath apparent chaos. Philosophers such as Pythagoras believed in the music of the spheres, the idea that the cosmos is organized through harmonic proportions. Within this context, Orpheus's lyre symbolizes the secret of tuning oneself to this universal frequency. But how does this apply to you, here and now? The lyre as a metaphor for the human mind. Think of a lyre that is out of tune. Its strings produce unpleasant sounds. The notes clash against one another. Nothing works. Now imagine that same lyre perfectly tuned. Every note finds its place, and every vibration contributes to the beauty of the whole. Have you ever felt that your thoughts are like the strings of a lyre that simply cannot play the same note? Many scholars see in this image a powerful metaphor for the mind. When thoughts, emotions, and impulses conflict, inner chaos emerges. When these elements find balance, harmony appears. We all possess inner strings that must be tuned daily. Orpheus and the psychology of integration. Psychologically, Orpheus symbolizes consciousness itself. Notice that he does not dominate wild beasts through violence. He neither imprisons nor destroys them. He harmonizes them. The animals in the myth represent our instincts and unconscious shadows. When Orpheus plays and calms these creatures, he shows us how consciousness can learn to communicate with its own impulses, transforming chaos into purpose rather than merely suppressing it. Why did even the stones obey Orpheus? It is said that even stones responded to Orpheus's music. In ancient symbolism, stones represent what is rigid and unchanging within us. Trees represent growth. Rivers symbolize the flow of life. When you achieve emotional balance, your presence calms tense situations. Your serenity spreads. In a very real sense, you also begin to move the stones around you. The esoteric secret of vibration. Before form, there was vibration. Before matter, there was movement. Orpheus's lyre symbolizes the ability to generate ordered vibrations. In modern language, your thoughts and words create real effects in your life. Living in disharmony generates conflict. Cultivating balance generates order. The descent into the underworld. But what happens when this harmony is tested by our greatest fear? That is where Orpheus's music descends into the underworld. The underworld is everything that has been forgotten or repressed, our pain, losses, and shadows. Orpheus does not carry a sword on this journey. He carries his lyre. The message is clear. The deepest challenges of existence cannot be solved through force, but through awareness, sensitivity, and understanding. The philosophical lesson of Orpheus. We live in a culture that celebrates competition and control, but Orpheus offers an alternative, the power that emerges from harmony. The true battle is not external. It is between fear and courage, between noise and meaning. The lyre that exists within every human being. Here is the final secret. The lyre was never an object. It is your ability to transform suffering into wisdom. Every conscious choice tunes a string. Every honest reflection adjusts a note. Gradually, your mind stops producing noise and begins producing meaning. A person in harmony is no longer dragged by chaos. They begin to conduct their own music. The true question of the myth was never whether Orpheus succeeded in rescuing Eurydice. The real question is, how are you playing your own lyre? Are you feeding disharmony or cultivating balance? Life will always present challenges and darkness, but the way you move through these experiences depends on the harmony you build within yourself. Orpheus's true power was the ability to transform chaos into music, and that is a skill all of us can and should learn. If this video brought you a new perspective on the myth of Orpheus, leave a comment and tell us which part of your inner lyre you are trying to tune today. Like the video to help symbolic mythology reach more seekers of knowledge. Now continue your journey by watching Orpheus and Eurydice, the love that challenged death and lost, where we explore the symbolic meaning of loss and the transformation of the soul. Explore the channel and discover the archetypes that continue to shape your mind to this day.